Alright, hello everybody, this is Give Your Anxiety on the mic, and I'm bringing you guys another great series here. We're back in the GUA June 2020 sub-tournament, and we're in the round of 8 here. We have Knuschelbär versus PrinceofKabul. So this is a very good series here. Round of 8, only extremely talented players left, and this one, we got two Titans going at each other here. This is a best of 5. The game was going to be played on Great Basin, and we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel for Knuschelbär. Let's see what Civ Knuschel gets here in game number 1. Alright, Knuschel getting the Iroquois civilization. And let's go ahead and spin the wheel for Prince. Let's see what Civ Prince gets here in game number 1. Alright, Prince getting Russia. Alright, so this is going to be a great series. Really excited to kick this one off. So, game 1, Great Basin. Knuschel with Euro, Prince with Russia. Both players do have one reciv, one respin per series, but neither one decided to use it here in game 1. And we're both going to click into it, and we're going to get right into game 1 here. Alright, really excited for this series, and so unfortunately, Prince has been having some issues with his internet lately. I guess the last few days his internet has been dropping quite a bit. So hopefully we're going to keep our fingers crossed and hope there are no issues and that he can get through the series fine without dropping at all, obviously. But I mean, worst case scenario, if he does drop, we may have to reschedule the series. We'll have to see when it happens and everything, and we'll kind of just play by ear and see what happens. But yeah, everybody keep the fingers crossed, and let's hope Prince's internet keeps up and we can get through the series without any issues. Alright, so as we're loading into game 1 here, this is a best of 5 here in the round of 8. Really excited for this one. Knuschelbär, very talented player, and Prince, obviously one of the players that qualified for the NWC LAN tournament last year. So in that tournament, it was the top 8 players in the world making it to the LAN, and Prince was one of them. So yeah, very skilled player, of course. A little bit of a load-in time here, but that's all right. Take a look at the crate start here. It looks like a coin start. Euro with 5. Man, there's a 500 food and 100 coin. And Russia with 100 coin. They also get the 500 food, 100 wood there. Iroquois with the trivial. Alright, so here we go. We are officially into game 1 here in this best of 5. Knuschel picking up that 20 coin and going for another 20 coin there. So interesting matchup here, Russia versus Euro. Both these civs can be very aggressive, and this is a very aggressive map as most of the hunts are really far out on this map. So getting map controls are really important. It is also a pretty big TP line, so you can also try to grab the TP line, which could be quite useful on a map that's for the most part low resources / really far resources. So we'll have to see what these players go for here. I'm going to be expecting probably some aggression, out of at least one of them. Iroquois lately, a lot of players have been playing Iroquois doing the semi-FF builds or just straight FF builds with Iroquois. So we may see Knuschel try to go for that, but at the same time, we may have to deal with a Russia rush. So so it may be very difficult to try to get away with that, especially with the far hunts on this map. So we're seeing Knuschel building a longhouse here. And then dropping the market, turning the trivial into a market, very nice, pretty unique. Doing the scouting with the trivial, but then dropping the market over here kind of looks strange. But yeah, it's actually wait, that's kind of weird. The market's only 100 wood. The house is 125, right? Is it just me, or is that not what you typically do? I think he actually lost wood there. Maybe it allowed him to buy. I think he got gold. It allowed him to buy gold. I think that's why he built a. Yeah, let's see. He got a 40. That's a Knuschel. He got 20 coin, another 20, and then a 60 wood. Yeah, definitely a bit unique there. But I believe he dropped the market. I know he was gathering wood there. I gotta look at this cursor again because this is tripping me out a little bit. So he had 40 coin, 60 wood. He had 40 coin and 60 wood. And then he was gathering... I don't know, but right now he's got 44 when he just picked up 30 coin treasure. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a little bit of a weird start because like he's floating like 19 wood, and also he basically overgathered like 19 wood and 14 coin, and he built a market with the trivial, and one market's cost 100 wood, but the longhouses cost 125 wood. It's kind of a weird opening, but I don't know. Perhaps it allowed him to get hunting dogs a little bit quicker. Yeah, a little unorthodox, but I think it kind of worked out for him. It feels like he probably lost a little bit of resources in the process. I don't know if that was the most efficient one, but perhaps it just allowed him to get the hunting dogs that much sooner. So maybe it is more beneficial since he can get hunting dogs quicker. Maybe he did the math there. Let's see. Prince just picking up a 40 XP treasure. Got a couple cougars here, trying to track him down, but now backing off. And Prince now gathering up this coin treasure as he is already aging here. Both players aging up now. Couple sheep. And doing some really far herding here for Noosh. I like that. You know, this map, you got the hunts really far out, so I want to do that early herding. Aggressive herding. And same thing with Prince here. Killed one though. And farm market, get some line of sight here, kind of prevent raids. So looks like we're not going to see Russia doing like a super all-in build since, you know, they're starting with a market here. And also we don't even see any forward villagers from Prince. So it appears like he does not want to do a forward blockhouse, which is quite strange. I mean, it can be hard to like rush Eero, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose maybe that's why. Okay, now he's sending the villagers forward. Okay, it just feels like he's sending them late, but I mean, I guess they'll get there. I guess they'll get there in time. It seems like usually players send them sooner, where like there'll be a chopping, but Prince just kind of sending them. I don't know. I mean, they'll still get there for the most part in time. Maybe a little bit of walking time as they like to start. Oh, there we go. Starts.
Good format tournament.
Comrade with $3 dono. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. But yep, there we go. We see Prince now dropping the blockhouse. Not sure if he could have went a bit further at all. And Wall's coming down from Neutral. I don't think he scouted the blockhouse at all, but you know he's probably just assuming it. So this is actually extremely well built base, and he did the slow age up, so he's got all the resources and the trivial there. So extremely well built base from Neutral. He's such a talented player. We got the wall segment, trees as like natural wall, longhouse there, and then the war hut with more natural trees here blocking it off. And Neutral converted a grizzly bear and now picking up 130 wood treasure. That is a huge treasure. And here's the 5 Cossack shipment coming on in, and we're seeing Prince building a TP behind this. So doing more kind of greedy, eco-focused build while still sending the 5 Cossacks to potentially do some damage. Really like that. One villager pretty far out here, but the Cossacks not responding to it right away. Still getting trapped by the trees. Dude, the Neutral's walls kind of backfired on him there and ended up having him lose a villager. That's actually quite relevant. Like that alone makes these 5 Cossacks worth it. Just killing a villager before 6 minutes, even just a single villager, is actually pretty big. So these 5 Cossacks already seem to like get their value. Just being able to kill a villager immediately like that, and it's a little unfortunate because Neutral, he could have like he could have just been chopping the trees here rather than chopping these ones, and the pathing caused the villager. You know, there's the wall here and the longhouse, so there's not many ways to get back to the TC, and ended up going kind of the wrong way around the tree, and it resulted in him getting caught by the Cossacks there. Prince shipping 700 wood. After this, we've seen an early seal traps at 539. Neutral, pretty early placer mines, and also not shipping the crates. And it looks like he trained 5, not the big button. He just trained 5 tomahawks there. A couple muskets, or batch of muskets being trained here for Prince, and now we're seeing a second blockhouse and also a second trading post. So I think Prince is going to stay to like play like the super late H2 play kind of, where he's just fortifying his location. He's like booming behind it, kind of being greedy behind it, while at the same time like fortifying this location, and probably just going to be massing up a ton of units and just playing like the contained game. which I think is a very smart choice here. But Knuschel will be getting up pretty quickly here.
I'm a lousy robot voice and I still pronounce Travoy better than GUA.
Absolutely. With the $1 dono, thank you. Appreciate it. And yeah, Knuschel's going to be getting up here pretty soon, though. Dropping a corral, and he's going to have a nice age up time, definitely. Ooh, but wow, at the same time, look at this. Prince is now moving in, and Knuschel's definitely going to be struggling to secure resources as he's about to click up, like, right now. He looks like he did train some more Tomahawks there. And he's not going to move in with the... Oh, and there's four Kanyes actually being shipped. Yeah, quite an interesting shipment there as Knuschel's now aging. I'm assuming Knuschel was probably shipping it and like getting ready to cancel it if there wasn't any aggression. And you can like send it, cancel it, send it, cancel it in case you do need it. Which here in this situation, you know, he basically does need it. So I really like that from Knuschel there. Just some poking here, trying to save the longhouse here, as it's actually quite valuable. This Knuschel's pretty low on res right now, already at 40 population out of 40. Longhouse is going to go down here, and it's going to house Knuschel. Look at that, 40 out of 25 is Knuschel does get to H3, and dropping the other war hut here. But he still can't train anything or do anything right now. He's at 40 out of 40 after rebuilding a longhouse. And no shipment available for Noosh yet, so he's in a tricky spot right here. Trying to keep the Iroquois War Chief alive and get those crack shots as often as possible. The war hut is going to get up. All in all, this is pretty good control from Knuschel with very little. He's kind of like holding it, and the second war hut gets up. Still can't. He needs to drop a longhouse, so he's still housing. Like, he's got the resources for a longhouse, so he's finally dropping it. Feels like it was quite delayed. Like, he could have been building it with these villagers, but perhaps more focus. His focus was somewhere else. Getting 2 forest prowlers out there, but I mean, it's enough to just push Prince back. So. It's quite interesting. Let's take a look at what's going on here. We have Knuschel and Age 3. Ooh, 9 Tomahawks being shipped. Just the kind of safer shipment rather than shipping forest prowlers. You never know if there's going to be a Cossack showing up, so it's just a bit safer to ship Tomahawks since they're like a really well-rounded unit and they can't get picked off the cav, and they can do good versus muskets and, you know, decent versus strelets. Wow, double stable out of Prince at the same time here. Shipping 700 coin and 600 coin. He's just really going to get a ton of unit production flowing. And we did see the Tomahawks are now being upgraded too. And it looks like he still has access to the big button. I don't know if something you'd go for. I mean, he's getting a lot of Tomahawks already, so you may want to save the resources for like forest prowlers. But let's take a look at the eco, 26 to 34, and Prince with 1 more trading post. So that's a pretty big gap. I mean, that's 8 villager difference. Yeah, Knuschel is an H3, but he's like struggling to get units out. He's being forced to having to build these longhouses and not be able to really put his villagers on resources to train units. He does have a shipment on the way, and his army is starting to get pretty strong. And the Iroquois army is like, you know, extremely strong. So. I don't know, it feels like maybe Prince is missing his timing. If he gives Euro too much time, they just end up getting units that are like insanely strong and can win like almost, you know, any fight or fights that feels like they shouldn't be able to win. And now we're seeing Kanye's being upgraded, so yeah, it feels like Prince kind of missed his timing because all of a sudden now like this Euro army is going to be really strong as we're going to be seeing upgraded Tomahawks, upgraded Kanye's, and then forest prowlers, and then, you know, the Iroquois War Chief, a giant unit, you know, by himself. Crackshotting the Cossacks, that's interesting. I'm not sure if that's the smartest use of that. Knuschel looking to push out, and oh, his Explorer! That's not what you want. His Explorer got left behind there. That is quite unfortunate there. No fire pit. He's not going to be able to dance him back. It's going to be, yeah, that's extremely unfortunate that Knuschel sloppy play there, losing his Explorer. And now getting pushed off this hunt here, and man, losing the Explorer right there, I felt like it was so massive. Quite actually a game changing here. And now he's gonna commit, sending the Kanye in. Oh, not attacking though, and building the fire pit. Quite sloppy play from Knuschel, honestly. Usually he's really on top of his micro and everything, but a little bit sloppy today here. And there's just so many Russia units. The fire pit's being built, but yeah, it's just everything's too late here. And there's a GG. Prince taking a pretty decisive and quick game one here. Yeah, maybe a little too greedy trying to do the FF on this map, as all the hunts are extremely far out on this map. And yeah, losing that Explorer was massive. If he had the Explorer in that fight, I think he would have maybe like been okay. Like he could have, you know, obviously got to boost his units, been able to do the Explorer's special ability like multiple times, and I don't know. I feel like it would have changed it quite significantly, but yeah, I don't know what happened there. If it looked like he thought he was retreating with the Explorer, but he ended up not retreating with the rest of his army and got left behind and picked off really easily there. So game one going to Prince here. All right, we're gonna get right into game two here. Game two is gonna be played on Bering Strait, and we're gonna go ahead and spin the wheel for Knuschel. Let's see what civ Knuschel gets here in game number two. Knuschel getting the Iroquois civilization again. All right. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel for Prince. Let's see what civ Prince gets here in game number two. Prince getting the India civilization. All right, both players clicking into this. Neither one using their civ respin yet, as we're still early on in the series here. Prince is up 1-0 here in this best of 5. So Knuschel doesn't want to go down 2-0, so it can very quickly get out of hand here. All right, loading into game two here, being played on Bering Strait. All right, Knuschelbär playing as the Iroquois civilization. All right, here we go. Into game two. Knuschel in the green playing as the Iroquois civilization, and PrinceofKabul in the blue playing as the India civilization. There's a lot of wood treasures on this map. Definitely nice for India. Euro can't complain when they get wood treasures themselves, though. I don't think it was lagging last game. The loading definitely is taking a long time, but I don't think it was lagging at all last game. Oh, slow with the monks here. What are you doing, Prince? He's typing, that's what he's doing. A little late with the monks, but okay. Alright, so it looks like coins start here. Knuschel picking up a monkey. Wait, he have a monkey in the back of his base, but not Prince? Prince had a coin treasure, that's interesting. Alright, so let's see what these players go for here. Knuschel getting a 40 wood treasure. This is a pretty interesting matchup. Euro versus India. Quite a classic matchup here. So let's see if these players are going to play it in H2 or if they'll try to play it out in H3. And this is actually kind of a similar map to Great Basin, to the Game 1 map, where the resources can be kind of far out. Maybe not quite as bad as Great Basin, but I guess hunt-wise it's not too bad. But second gold mines is one thing to point out. Second gold's going to be a little bit far. I mean, this one's not bad. But it can sometimes feel like the hunts are a bit far out. You have to go get a little bit out there. It's not too horrible, but with some aggression, it can cause some issues potentially. We got a little bit of an army over here. Couple monkeys, and a snow leopard. Oh, and Prince going for a 95 wood treasure. Very nice one to pick up right there. But we do see Knuschel finding an 80 wood treasure himself, so he'll be happy with that if he goes for it. Oh, it looks like he found 75 food, so he's going to go for that one first. And I'll take a look at these players' decks, see what they're working with here. Pretty standard stuff here, nothing too crazy. Take a look at Prince's deck here. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of different type of cards that you can choose with these two civilizations. Their decks stay pretty standard here. Looks like we have a bit of a lag spike here. Hopefully everything's okay on Prince's end. It's unfortunate. Looks like we may have Prince dropping out here at 2 minutes. Yeah, his internet has been really funky lately, so honestly, we may have to kind of reschedule a series. I think we would just, take account game one, obviously, since they played game one, and then reschedule from there on. I mean, this game's only 2 minutes and 47 seconds in, so it's not really a big deal restarting this game at all. Nothing super relevant has happened. Definitely unfortunate, but looks like Prince's internet has just dropped him. Wait, is he back? Hey, are we back? Yeah, hello, we're back. Alright. Alright, cool. I don't think that usually that doesn't happen. If your internet drops at all, I think it usually drops you, but apparently Prince is back. Alright. Alright, so we're back on in the series. Prince is going to be picking up an 80 food treasure. And it looks fine. It doesn't look like it's lagging either, so we can work with this. You're still picking up that 80 wood treasure right there. And we do have a pretty defensive aggro coming out of Prince here. Both players now aging up here. Knuschel's starting to herd some of these far hunts. And doing a lot of scouting here. He does see the defensive aggro. I believe Knuschel is he fast aging? No. Wait, no, I don't think so. It seems like he's going up pretty quickly. I think that's normal age. But we will see in a second here. And Knuschel about to hit H2 here. He does have a shipment available, so let's see what he goes with first here. See if he goes. Yep, that was just a slow age up with the Cheviot. So he builds a defensive war hut, and it looks like he's sticking to the the new EP Euro playstyle, where he basically just like semi-FF like every game. It's became very popular. Dropping down in market, going for the eco, and it does work. I think it is really good, but oftentimes you can't kind of catch your players off guard if they do this, because it's almost like so common that players do this playstyle with the Euro. Like every game, where if you kind of just like do a strategy to counter it, you can catch your opponent off guard quite easily. But it doesn't look like Prince is really going for that, as he's built a defensive aggro here, so it looks like he's probably going to be doing the same thing where he just like fast fortresses himself, or just goes really greedy. I wouldn't be surprised to see the second wood trickle as his first stage 2 shipment, or like export very early. So I think both these players are going to be booming away for a bit. and playing it in H3. You may see Fort County being shipped to put on some aggression, but probably not. Probably not versus India with the Aggro Fort and the 2 for Sepoy. Prince did not go with Carney mod though, so he didn't go like full greed. It probably would be hard to hold the Fort County shipment if you do the Carney mod though. So probably a smarter choice to just do a defensive aggro here. And we're starting to see the market upgrades coming on in, and there's a lot of villagers on gold right there for Knuschel. It's wild. He's already got like 1,200 food. Jesus. 6 minutes, man. This guy's about to like start aging. How does he have so much food stacked? Oh, jeez. Yep, second wood trickle is Prince's first H2 card, just as I suspected. I think I'm still tired right now. I can like, I don't know. I'm managing, I suppose. Alright, and there's the big crate shipment from Knuschel. And he's going to be aging up here in basically any second. That is me a very quick age up. And he's going to do the fast age up politician, so he's going to be in H3 at like probably before 7 minutes, or maybe at 7 minutes. He's got, looks like maybe he has a villager in queue, and he's about to hit the age up right now after this villager finishes. And yeah, he's going to have a very quick age up, maybe just after 7 minutes. Meanwhile, Prince just booming away here with the 2 wood trickles, getting his eco upgrades, now shipping diplomatic intrigue. He's probably going to be sending the Ottoman villagers and a very early imperial bureaucracy. Now dropping down a stable here. Getting wood upgrade or gold upgrade there. And just a couple of tomahawks being trained. Why not? And oh, there we go, fueling some more tomahawks. So aged up at 722. Pretty early age up here for the Eero. He's got a war hut. Both layers with their trading posts. There's the Ottoman villagers at 729. Some more market upgrades. And we're seeing the tomahawks escort the Trivial here. And placing it very far forward, kind of get some map control. I like it, I like it. Moving the Explorer on in. And we have a couple Gurkha being trained here. Second stable being dropped for Prince. And man, it feels like Prince's res is so low. Like I'm almost expecting Prince to be aging, but like he's got extremely low resources in the bank, and he's just age 2 with like very few units. It's kind of hilarious, but he does have much better eco. But it just feels weird. Like the Eero army, he has like there's more Eero units than like India units, and it just feels like India kind of doesn't have anything. But he just got the eco game going. Oh, this is gonna be a painful one. Look at that. Crack shot ability from the Iroquois War Chief, killing a unit, damaging like 4 others. 600 wood being shipped for Prince. Some people would say that this is a bad shipment. It's gonna help Prince get his infrastructure up, but I don't know. I don't know if I really like that. He's got 2 wood trickles already, so it's just like wood kind of gathers easy for India, and shipping 600 wood just doesn't really feel like the best shipment. I mean, 600 coin would probably be more valuable, but it goes with the 600 wood shipment. And he's just starting to mass up units, so double stable and an aggro here. So it looks like he's going to be going heavy, just staying H2 and just massing up a large army. Perhaps going heavy sours, mixing some zams here. And here we go. Sours are going to connect onto the Tomahawks and Force Prowlers, but a big batch of reinforcing Force Prowlers. Some of the units can cut out a little bit, but reinforcements are able to pull the units back. And now there's a lot of Force Prowlers that can kind of kite for a long time here. But 3 Guard Hussars are coming, and Prince is moving on in with all these units here. Prince trying to target down the Tomahawks, but just enough Tomahawks to really scare back the Cav. And there's still a lot of Force Prowlers where I think Prince is just going to have to back off. Like the Force Prowlers alone are almost enough to deal with these Guard Hussars. There's just so many of them. Forcing Prince back here. I think he's kind of took these engages a little bit too early. He could have continued to mass up units. I don't think he really needed to fight at that moment. And even shipped. Look at this. Now he's floating 700 wood, and he's like gathering from a far gold mine. Imagine if that was just 600 gold ship instead of like the 600 wood there. But a lot of cav out of the double stable, giant batches of cav here, and it's actually pushing Knuschel back as he's really caught off guard. He's got pretty much pure forest prowlers right now. Some Kanyes are coming on in, but this is a very good job of catching Knuschel off guard here. Some Tomahawks do pop right on top of the cav, however. Iroquois War Chief is still standing, and wow, that was like initially a really good catch for Prince, but then all of a sudden the cav got dealt with very quickly there, and now Knuschel's the one pushing Prince back. Monk's about to be going down here. 5 seaport being shipped for Prince, as we're seeing Knuschelbär shipments, obviously in H3 much stronger shipments, 1200 res, 8 forest prowlers, and 6 Kanye. And we do now see elite Kanyes, and that is quite a few Kanye there. Prince forced to retreat once again. He is up 15 villagers, but he's going to be struggling to keep up military-wise, as he is less military and a much weaker military. And that was the big button that was called there at the war hut. And a couple of villagers are going down for Prince, so that's not what he needs, obviously. Needs to keep that eco lead. Yeah, it felt like Prince was kind of taking some of these engages sooner than he really should have been. And I guess not the best trades overall for him. We do see Prince moving out across the map here on this side of the map, which is very nice. Knuschel kind of letting him get away with this. Since he has a war hut over here, he cut off this side of the map, but he's letting Prince get away with all this at the same time. But now pushing into the main base, and yeah, Prince can't really push here. He's got to retreat. He's bleeding out too many units here, trying to contest the army, but he just can't. He can't do that really. He's got to just let these couple houses go down and just stay back. With the 2 wood trickles, not the biggest deal if you just lose 2 houses. Here we get in some pretty nice shots while the units were sieging there. But really pushing, I don't know. I mean, he's going in again, calling Minutemen. 4-hour shipment, try to time it with the 4-hour shipment, but the Sour's going to the wrong place, unfortunately. And it just doesn't feel like this was the fight that Prince really should be taking, and not having this. I think he pushed and called the Minutemen and did all this because he had the shipment on the way. Yeah, he had the shipment go to the wrong place, unfortunately. A little bit sloppy play from Prince here. Seaport get here in time, though, to push the Kanye back. Oh, wow, they're really following, though. This micro just feels a bit off from Prince. I don't know. I mean, he's now tracking all the units down, but it feels like Prince is just fighting when he really doesn't need to be, and just taking kind of bad engage after bad engage. I have to see if any units are popping off for Prince here. He's got a lot of res stack floated here, food, as he was kind of getting pushed off these gold mines. I think he ended up going to this gold mine later, too late, as his macro was getting thrown off. And yeah, it just felt like Prince was taking engagements that he didn't really need to be taking. More seaport being trained here. And just a lot of Iroquois units here running throughout the base. Yeah, I mean, the strategy didn't look bad from Prince, but he just kind of kept taking fights that just didn't go his way, and he didn't need to take the fights when he did. It was kind of puzzling. He could have just like fell back behind his TC and just bought more time with the better eco, but I don't know, he felt like he needed to push, I suppose, and he kind of it just wasn't working. He just kept having bad trades, and now it's just not looking good for him. Running out of options here. As all of his villagers are idled walking across the map here. And And yep, not a whole lot Prince can do here. I think he's about to lose all of his villagers, and should be seeing the GG coming out here any second, as all these villagers are now surrounded. And there's the GG. So Knuschel ties this series up 1-1. Yeah, Prince actually outgathering by a pretty significant amount, but he just kept taking really bad trades. I know he was an age behind, but still, like, he didn't need to be taking the fights that he was taking, and he was just slowly bleeding out his military. Like here, he's got way more units. Even here, he's got more units. He loses badly. He's got a lot more units. He loses badly, and he's got even number of units. Like he just kept bleeding units out. All right, guys, we're about to get into game 3 here. Game 3 going to be played on Manchac. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel for Knuschel. Let's see what Civ Knuschel gets here in game number 3. Alright, Knuschel getting the Dutch civilization. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel for Prince. Let's see what Civ Prince gets here in game number 3. Prince getting the Sioux civilization. Alright, so getting into game 3 here in this best of 5 between Knuschel and Prince. Two brigadiers going head to head here. Alright, here we are. Getting into game 3 here in this best of 5. Series is currently tied 1-1. We have PrinceofKabul in the blue playing as the Sioux civilization, and Knuschelbär in the green playing as the Dutch civilization. Knuschel is very experienced with the Dutch, pulling out to level 131 Dutch home city, but Prince, on the other hand, pulling out to level 100 Sioux civilization, which is where you can make your civ start at level 100, and he didn't even have a deck made or cards chosen before this, so it's kind of very surprising to see Prince not do a civ respin. Perhaps he plays Sioux on like a different account or something, where he just didn't want to respin for whatever reason, but deciding to play as a Sioux, or maybe he just thought Sioux was favored in this matchup. Not really sure why he didn't respin. But yeah, who knows? Maybe he has a Smurf or something where he's played as Sioux on different accounts or something like that. But we'll have to see what Prince can do here with the Sioux. As we're loading in, looks like it is a coin start here. You see 400 food on the floor for the Sioux civilization and a hundo coin. Some gold treasures nearby. And Knuschel picking up a 30 coin right off the bat. Always nice for the Dutch, since their villagers do cost coin. And we're going to be seeing that Sioux Explorer race across the map. Going to pick up a 75 wood treasure right away, which is very nice. But Knuschel actually finding a 95 wood. So let's see if he goes for this right away, or is he going to be a little nervous that Prince could potentially steal it. Going to walk past it. Finds an 80 food also. May go for the 80 food. He does indeed go for the 80 food, so this one would be a little bit more difficult to get, and it's kind of higher risk, high reward, as the Sioux Explorer could potentially steal it. And also the food will kind of help him get up quicker, while perhaps he feels that there's not, well, he is chopping wood, so he would be able to kind of do something with that 95 wood, but it's a higher risk, high reward treasure. So we are seeing Knuschel building a market here in Age 1, and he's gonna have to. Let's see. I wonder if he has idle time. I don't think he has idle TC quite yet, but he's gonna have to gather quite a bit of wood here. Now building a house, and he's gonna be aiming to get hunting dogs. Already does have hunting dogs, so able to do an Age 1 market hunting dogs and drop the house there with the Dutch civilization. So that's pretty good. Meanwhile, Prince is just going to leave that coin on the floor and gather it once after he starts aging. And let's see, Knuschel now going to be finding another 80 food treasure. So, yeah, he's going to go for that. That's going to be really nice. Getting 160 food in age 1 is definitely going to help that age up quite a bit. But Prince finding a pretty good treasure himself. He's able to convert an outlaw rifleman, save his alligator, as the alligator is hiding in the water, as they often do, but now coming out on land. And he's able to get a Cherokee rifleman, so he's building a little age 1 army here. Crocodile, quite speedy. Yeah, gotta be careful for those guys. They can kind of creep up out of nowhere, and you never know. Oh, whoa, oh, he got that old speed boost too. I think it looked like he started zooming. Looked like he did. The speed didn't change here, but man, look at that Sioux Explorer speed. Uh-oh, watch out for the outlaw. He's going to try to get a shot in. Oh, but the crack shot does come down and immediately kills the outlaw, so it's a little unfortunate there for Prince. I think we would have liked to keep him alive longer, especially with having a Cherokee rifleman. He did want to get some shots there, but, you know, immediately going down there. Oh, it's such a smart move there. Knuschel, knowing his Explorer was going to die regardless. Oh, whoops. I don't think he meant to do that. Perhaps he did. Knuschel knew his Explorer was going to die regardless, so he ended up attacking a treasure and had the treasure kill him, which denied Prince from getting the XP for killing the Explorer. So it's a trick that, you know, has been around for quite some time, but definitely a nice one. Just denying Prince that XP. And Prince just picked up a treasure to give his Explorer 40% more hit points, which is huge actually for Sioux Explorer. When you're one of the like native or Tad civs and you got the really important Explorers, like that's a massive treasure. Being able to buff Sioux Explorer's HP by 40% is huge. And we have a bank going down for Knuschel here as he just hits up to age 2. And we actually have a forward war hut for Prince, so pulling out some interesting play here. A little unconventional here. Knuschel extremely good with Dutch, with the base building and defensive play, so a lot of resources right underneath his top center. It feels like it's going to be difficult to push into this, as you know, a ton of food, good trees close by, and you know, back gold mine, and now even throwing down walls. As looks like he did scout this with the envoy. So Knuschel being really on top of this, and oh, man, this is going to be a very difficult base to push into. Bank wagon come down as another natural wall there, and yeah, the Dutch, they're so good at just turtling and just doing exactly this that I don't really know how Prince is going to push in, unless if he may just he does train some units. He's training a batch of Seedens. Perhaps he'll boom behind this though, as he's building a 1 TP now. He can maybe even take like Knuschel's TP before Axe Riders being shipped, and it's go time for Prince here. He's gonna move on in and put some aggression on, as he's got the 4 Axe Riders and the 5 Seatons with the Explorer here. Oh, Axe Riders sneaking on through there. Squeezing on through, and a couple villagers exposed here. You're going to go down very quickly, getting a nice vill kill, and can probably get a second one here. And this is actually already really good for Prince. Getting 2 villagers is actually pretty significant there. And could get a third here if he spots this guy. Actually gets a third, forces Minutemen. And unfortunately, the Seedens are a bit exposed, but the bank wagon, it does go down immediately. Gonna get, I think this is a 5th villager. Seedens also managed to escape, so this actually went extremely good for Prince. Let's take a look at units lost here. Those 4 villagers. Lost 4 villagers and was forced to call Minutemen. And the units finding their way through this gap here, I guess, in the berries in the bank. That's a knocko good for Knuschel. You called Minutemen, and he lost 4 villagers, and he only killed 1 axe rider. That was actually an amazing trade there for Prince. But even with that being said, I mean, this is kind of like the Sioux eco is just not good. I don't know. It's kind of like an all-in from Prince. Like, yeah, he had a really good trade, but looking at the eco, it's 26 to 18. Like, that is actually a really big difference. And I don't know what... I mean, Prince is going to continue to make units here, and I suppose try to push in again, but I don't know if he's really going to be able to successfully. More Sedans being trained, but TC Fire alone can probably be pretty efficient at dealing with the Sedans. And Minutemen are going to get some good hits in here, even though they're 1 HP. Sioux Explorer now going down. And a couple skirmishers being trained, but they are kind of out of position here, and the skirmishers will actually get picked off very quickly. So, not the best pop for Knuschel there. With the 3 skirms could have maybe went behind the barracks or try to get the pikes there closer, quicker. But even with that being said, I feel like just with villager punching and just TC fire, like I think it's just gonna deal with this rush. Like just having villagers in the TC shooting at like 100 HP Sedans is just probably cost efficient like by itself. So I don't know. It's idling Knuschel, but he's got like 3 banks gathering at the same time, and he could be gathering with some villagers. So I don't know. Knuschel's up 6 villagers still. I mean, Prince did a fair amount of damage here, but he got a 6th villager. Oh, tell me, come on, internet. Oh, come on. A little bit of lag spike here. And let's hope Prince can come back to life once again. It's quite unfortunate. This game is still, pretty close. Oh, come on, Prince. You save? I don't think save does anything, does it? Does save actually do something? Can you do save at like last second or what? Oh, yes, Prince! Come back to life! Yes! Prince, he's a beast that coming back to life. Alright, yep, Prince has brought himself back to life for the 2nd time, and we're continuing with the series, with the game. Prince moving out all the way on in here, targeting the skirmishers. Oh, and those dogs being shipped. Oh, while Knuschel actually shipping Colonial Militia just about 30 seconds ago. So, gonna lose the skirms, but Colonial Militia is gonna basically prevent any more aggression. And it almost would have been better to like not train the skirms. So now like Prince is just gonna have to stop the rush. Like he can't push any further against Colonial Militia. Like he just has to recognize Colonial Militia's out and basically like stop attacking. Getting 1 villager there is actually quite nice. That's pretty sloppy there from Knuschel losing a vill. And yeah, just find these pikes, kill the pikes, and then really back out. He's got to be able to identify though that Colonial Militia is being shipped, that has been shipped, and then just back off and kind of be happy with the trade that you got. Oh, nice. Very good catch, actually, from... Oh, these are clubs, actually, not... I thought they were going to be Sedans, which would have been better. But Prince is going to force this fight here, and actually good micro, good control here, good fight to force. Trying to get the clubs there, and just outnumbering the pikes and taking the fight here. Good control there, getting the clubs to attack as much as they can, preventing the cav from getting hit, and good job trying, dealing with the pikes there a bit. So the equals are now tied at 29. Wow. And we have a trading post in the middle here for Prince. So this was actually a really successful rush from Prince. Quite interesting. Losing 7 villagers. Knuschel. It's a lot. It's a lot to lose there. And Knuschel shipping 700 food, and it looks like he is going to sneak up to H3. He's got the Colonial Militia, which is basically going to just make it impossible for Prince to push in. And it looks like Prince did a good job of identifying that Colonial Militia was shipped, and now realizing that he just needs to stop rushing and just basically age himself. Prince is going to pick up a 95 wood, which is very nice. And wow, look at this. Prince gathering from the deer over here, the elk, back herding Knuschel's next hunt. And yeah, Knuschel's going to be running into trouble. He's going to get up to H3, but these deer are bleeding out. You should get on them, definitely. It's actually like over 1,000. It's like almost 1,500 food here, so I should definitely gather those. And then some berries. But after that, he's going to have to get out on the map to get some hunt. Oh, and he's got one over here, so he's actually got like maybe like almost 1,900 food or so. Oh wow, okay, never mind. He's got like one there too, and one there hiding. So he's actually got like 2,500 food in like hunt in his base still, which is actually a good amount, especially being as doing. Oh, there's actually like one over here, but they're kind of hiding or running away. So he's actually still has a pretty good amount of food in his base, especially since these Dutch and villagers don't cost food. He has more food than it looks like, basically. Like, it doesn't look like he has much food at all in his base, but he actually has like, this is like 1,000. It's like he's got like actually over 2,000 food, so it can actually hold him over for a long, quite a long time. Prince aging up himself. Both players now in age 3. Prince did sneak in the 5 village shipments, so Prince is actually up 1 villager in the recalculated eco, and there's 9 rotors being shipped. Skirmishers being trained, and Prince moving out, and he's going to pick off some villagers. I think the envoy spotted these guys earlier. The greedy villagers hunting far away. They are going to go die. See if he gets a 3rd one. As we have Axe Riders being upgraded. Oh, and even a 4th one. This one led to this one. So losing 4 villagers basically completely for free that's quite unfortunate. 9 Wakinas shipped for Prince. So now the recalculate eco, because of that, now Knuschel's up 4 villagers. So now 3 after villagers got trained. So yeah, it's definitely unfortunate, kind of throwing those villagers away for free. But Akshar is moving on in, trying to do a counter raid here. Wakina's going to get a nice... No, I thought it looked like they were going to get a hit. Ooh, they were going to find the skirmisher, so that's pretty nice. Picking up like 4 skirms for free. That is quite nice. But also potentially to get trapped by unit pops here, and even like potential bigger batch of Minutemen or something. But Prince not staying for too long. He does actually have some clubs kind of hanging around here. And with the Colonial Militia TC fire, I'm not sure if Prince wants to really put himself in this situation. Even just like big Colonium batch could just like snare, and I don't know. This looks like suicide. What? Axe Rider's coming out. I mean, Prince really wants to push this, I guess. I don't think he needs to or should be. He's got like the contain going on. And another batch of Axe Riders, 5 Axe Riders being shipped, but getting caught out of position a little bit, not connecting the snare though, as the Wakina are catching up there to get some hits in. But still kind of bleeding out these Axe Riders a lot more than he really should have been. He did idle, Knuschel's all of his villagers. 4 Hussars being shipped there. That's actually a 5 Hussar shipment, as the UI just says 4. XR is moving back in though. And if they see those Huss, they could get a nice catch potentially. But military is pretty even here. And now Knuschel going in. Hussar is kind of getting caught out though before the Reuters really join the fight. And Prince getting a lot of initial good hits here. Reinforcing Axe Riders, and these are just regular Hussars, so I think this is actually a good fight for Prince here. Not the best job from Knuschel coordinating that attack there, as the Hussars really went in before the Reuters, as he kind of started losing some of the Huss there before the engage fully started. Couple pikes looking for villas. Looking at the recalculate eco, Knuschel is up 3 villagers. as we see Prince moving way out on the map here for resources, even building a couple teepees here to boost his gathering rate. And yeah, that food is running thinner and thinner for Knuschel. So he's gold mine out, but he does have this back gold mine. He's gonna have to start getting out on the map soon. He does have berries though, if he decides to go that way. Knuschel with just a slightly better eco, up 3 villagers. But without map control, he may have to go on berries, which kind of cancels out that eco advantage. Reuter is moving across the map, though, looking for some more villagers, and it looks like they're going to get some vill kills here, which is going to be nice. Now on the dance, and going to get at least 2 villagers, I'm going to say here, which is going to be pretty big. Head combat coming in, and this is going to be a 3rd villager going down here, so huge raids. These are like game-changing raids that Knuschel's been getting. I think that's a 4th villager. This is going to be a 5th villager. Like, oof, this is bad. A 6th villager. 7 villagers going down. Lost two Reuters there, but for 7 vills. Let's see if the Axe Riders can get the trap here. Looks like they're... Oh, they are going to actually connect with the snare. The Wakina, oh, they're trailing behind. I went idle for a little bit, unfortunately. Kills the Explorer. But nah, look at the ecos now, 29 to 40 after Prince just losing a lot of villagers. 11 villagers have been killed this game. As it's kind of unnecessary. I don't know, Prince didn't really need to lose these villagers, especially the initial ones over here. A little bit, I don't know, kind of risky going that far out on the map. And gonna pick off a villager right there though, and 2nd villager, so kind of evening up himself. And we got elite Axe Riders and elite Bull Riders. Let's see if we have Vet Huss. It is in queue here. 7 vill gap. Military is also in favor of Knuschel, so it looks like Knuschel is ahead here. But Knuschel is being forced to move out on the map for resources, and he's going on berry. So yeah, it's one thing that Prince has going for him. He's gathering from hunts, more efficient, you know, gathering. While Knuschel was kind of hanging out at home, gathering from some berries. Putting a couple, oh, there's spikes there. But yeah, a lot of villagers going down for Prince after he, you know, put the eco lead kind of in his hands. Slash like tied it up, and then ended up kind of throwing that eco lead by losing quite a few villagers there. Cav combat is in for Prince. Wakina looking for villagers to pick off. Not finding any. Military is pretty even here. Batch of Wakinas get trained. And this is just a full cavalry army here. I'm surprised he's not being more active with the raids, like especially when you have Colonial Militia. Like you don't even have to defend your home. Like imagine just raiding here. You have such a mobile army. But here we go. Knuschel's gonna push it. He's gonna force the fight, and full HP Sioux Explorer with the 40% treasure is gonna allow him to tank quite a bit of shots. He is on the front line though, getting fully attacked by the Reuters, so he does go down there. And not too many Huss left, but Sioux army looking kind of small here. As Wakinas are bleeding out, and Bull Riders, a couple of reinforcing Bull Riders, as there's only 2 Huss left. So Bull Riders are going to try to deal with the remaining Huss, and we actually have a 8 Halb shipment being shipped here. Look at them slow Halbs moving out. But enough Reuters to kind of just outnumber the Sioux military and track down the whole army here, as the Halbs are not going to start sieging the war hut. And more Reuters being trained here. And now Knuschel's looking to be in a very good spot with the eco lead and pretty big military lead. So yeah, Prince he played this quite well actually, doing a lot of damage early on in Age 2, and but then unfortunately he kind of just threw some villagers here when he didn't really need to, and then took another rough raid. So he ended up losing quite a bit of villagers, which really evened up the or put Dutch back in favor in the eco game. But, I mean, Knuschel lost 10 villagers this game. Prince lost 11, so... And now we just got some halbs taking out a stable. The Orders are finding the hunt over here. And you got all the villagers pinned up in this war hut here. Kind of surprised we didn't see a dog soldier timing from Prince. Yeah, the opportunity to call dog soldiers. So we are at 20 minutes, but not do dog soldiers. Couple people dancing. Not for long though. And Prince running around, but not too much hopes here for Prince. Prince gonna get a nice raid here. Kill about 8 villagers. Should get all of them, unless there's some units coming by. But he's behind in a pretty significant amount in Nico, even with this raid. Nice raid, but actually only behind 7 villagers. Seems like he should be behind a lot more. Yeah, behind 8 villagers. If he had another raid like that, he'd be like right back in it, kind of. But Knuschel moving across the map, and I'm not sure how the corral stayed up. They pulled the helps off of it at some point. He's training more helps, I believe. Chipping 1,000 food. Got a lot of res up there, stacking them. Some more bow riders are trained, and they die. Not much to say about this one. Pretty much over here is Prince now tapping out, calling the GG. Game 3 going to Knuschel here. So Knuschel taking the 2-1 lead. Alright guys, we're about to get into Game 4 here. Game 4 is going to be played on Colorado. Knuschel currently up 2-1 as both players still have their respin available. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel for Knuschel. Let's see what civ Knuschel gets here in game number 4. Alright, Knuschel getting the Japan civilization. And let's go ahead and spin the wheel for Prince. Let's see what civ Prince gets here in game number 4. Prince getting the China civilization. Prince calling for the respin. Alright, let's go ahead and respin it for Prince. Let's see what civ Prince gets here in game number 4. Prince getting the India civilization. Alright, we're loading into game 4 here. Knuschel currently up 2-1. So this is do or die for Prince. Prince gotta win this one, stay alive. We have Knuschel in the green playing as the Japan civilization, and Prince in the blue playing as the India civilization. Prince did get the China civilization here, and he decided to use his civ respin, which gave him the India civilization. He's already played as India once this series in was that game 2, I believe that was, where it was India versus Euro, and he did end up losing that one. Put up a pretty good game though, but he did lose that one. Alright, we got the rickshaw scouting about the map. 40 wood at home. And we have Knuschel opening up with a consulate here. So it was, and he's also gathering this one. So it was a 300 wood start here for Knuschel. So he's able to build a consulate quite easily. And he's just going to be chopping a little bit of wood so that he can build his first shrine here. There's a lot of good treasures on his map, so he's going to be moving his explorers looking for these treasures. Same as Prince. And I know they tweaked the shrine cost since the old RE days. I believe they decreased the shrine cost. I'm not really sure why they buffed it there. There's been a lot of balance debate lately, and that was one thing that was a little bit questionable. Buffing, I believe they buffed the shrines cost just very slightly, making the shrines a little bit cheaper. Because they used to be, you'd have to gather 107 wood, I believe. They used to cost like 106. And sometimes, I remember there was like a decimal point. If you gathered 106 wood, sometimes you could build a shrine, and sometimes you couldn't. So you'd always gather, I believe it was always 107 wood that you would gather. But yeah, we're seeing we're just not throwing down the shrine. Actually, he's not on the port, or he is on the port consulate, but I believe that's inaccurate. It's displaying as 120, but with the port consulate, it should be cheaper than that. Especially, I'm pretty sure Knuschel didn't have 120. It's just being displayed as that. But the port consulate makes buildings cheaper, so makes the shrines cheaper. And we got the explorers meeting each other here. Pretty low HP explorer from Prince. Both rickshaws are now set up here. As Knuschel is just looking about the map. Let's take a look at what. Ooh, looks like we're gonna have a treasure contention. 90 wood, really big treasure here. Let's see if Prince can come in for steal here. He does have one really low HP monk, and Knuschel's gonna target that one monk. As Prince is just gonna try to stun both of these and try to go for the quick steal, but he's really out of position here, and it is gonna go to Knuschel. So Knuschel getting that 90 wood, which is so big, and he's gonna potentially kill and he also kills the elephant. So that going really good for Knuschel there, and not so great for Prince. Let's take a look at the treasures here. Knuschel getting a 20 coin, a 90 coin, so that is 110 coin, and a 90 wood. So 110 coin and 90 wood compared to Prince's 30 coin, 50 food. 90 food, 140 food, and 30 coin. I don't know why I'm trying to do math on this hard, but 140 food and 30 coin compared to 110 coin in 90 wood. So pretty even. I don't know, probably a little Knuschel favored. Prince building an aggro in the middle of the map. He did manage to sneak it on in here, as it can be blocked. Can be easy to block it with two explorers, not a ton of room to build it, but Prince managed to sneak it on in there. As we're seeing Knuschel put up the walls and building the Toshuga Shrine. Gonna pick up a puppy. He's just using one villager here to build the aggro. And a wolf joins the party here. So we'll have to see what Prince goes for here, if he's going to try to kind of siege down the shrines or if he's going to try to push into the base. But of course, it ain't going to be easy to push into the base with these walls. And Knuschel just now sending a villager to start constructing them. I'm not sure if he did this on accident or what, but he had the walls laid out, but nobody building them quite yet. But looks like he's going to start that now. Some more shrines are coming down. And we're seeing a consulate being built here. It's a kind of like far back consulate though. I think usually with consulate rushes you build right next to the aggro. Perhaps Prince is trying to hide it, or or just, I don't know, it was a little bit easier to build there. I'm not really sure, but that kind of indicates that I think we're going to be seeing a pretty heavy rush here from Prince. I think he's going to be going for the consulate rush, which versus these walls, I don't know if it's going to work very well versus this. A very interesting wall here from Knuschel. It looks like, man, it looks like something from like a scenario, you know, like it doesn't look like an actual like supremacy game wall, but it's really nice looking. Kind of surprised he didn't make the consulate part of the wall to save some wood. Quite a unique wall, but it's actually very like efficient at the same time. So there's not a ton to wall off here, leaving it open over here. But yeah, it's quite beautiful. And we do have a early barracks here for Knuschel. 600 wood is his first H2 shipment, and Prince shipping export is his first H2 shipment. And training a batch of 5 sepoys, so he's putting the aggression on. Gonna siege down 1 shrine right away. Knuschel's only up to 70 shrine pop. He's floating a lot of wood right now. Where's his explorers at? Okay, not building a shrine. Where's his other one? Over here. And now finishing up off the walls here. So man, like, yeah, this is tricky. He let the explorer get through the wall. Left this part unbuilt so the explorer can go through. And just going to continue to build some shrines here, even using villagers to build some shrines back here. But the wonder only has 2 animals on it, which I think is kind of a big misstep. And 4 sours being shipped for Prince. And here's the red coats, so it's go time for Prince. He's going to have to break through the walls, but there's only like 1 layer of walls, and it looks like Prince is really going for the surprise factor, as he just showed his initial sepoys to siege down the shrine, but now all of a sudden he's coming up with a ton of units, even a batch of Gurkha, and he's got a scary push here, as there's only 1 real wall here, and Yumis are kind of a little out of position trying to get here to now start laying in some shots, and Knuschel's seeing this and starting to lay down some more walls. As he realizes, okay, there's a lot of units there, and I gotta hold this. But look at these quick walls, and I mean, it's just Yumi behind walls, obviously so good. Prince has to find a way through the walls, and he does through the tiniest little crack there, and that is quite unfortunate. Oh, but the infantry units can't get through the wall. Only the sours, which I guess just works out for Knuschel actually. So yeah, just Yumi walls, just kind of ridiculously strong. And it feels like Knuschel's dealing with this completely fine. He's got a lot of Yumi where the infantry just can't even really get there to attack. Being just split off from like the sours and the elephants, now making their way around. As some reinforcing sepoy do come, and the infantry are now starting to get on top of the Yumis. However, Min-Men are called for Knuschel. Looks like Knuschel might have got a little sloppy with the oh, but here we go, some Bestieros popping out now, and I think this is just going to be enough to hold. And even some Ashes being trained here. And yeah, it doesn't feel like Prince can sit here. 5 sepoy being shipped, 1 villager unfortunately coming with. And Knuschel's up 4 villagers in the eco game here. Looks like Prince may need to save himself for a 3rd time. Unfortunately, Prince is dropping here. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Hopefully he can save himself once again. As we will sit and wait patiently. Come on, Prince. Let's not end it this way. It's still, I mean, I think this match is definitely in favor of Knuschel, but I mean, it's not over by any means, and yeah, it'd obviously be unfortunate to have to kind of end it. Here we go, Prince bringing himself back to life for the 3rd time. Let's go. But yeah, I mean, you just can't really rush Japan, honestly. Like, they'll just Yumi wall you. Prince gonna try to move back in. Does pick off the villager, which is a nice little pick up there. And Yumi's perhaps moving too far out, but actually Prince backing up. And the Eagle game, it's not too much different. It's 30 to 34, but I mean up 4 villagers, and now make it a gate. And I don't really see how you ever push through here. So the one brave irregular is leading the pack. The scout gets a shot in and then dies. 600 coin coming in. Nuschel backing up, retreating. Getting shot in with the Yumi and Basiros. The Seaboy are trying to track them down. Barry maybe going to be doing a little body blocking. Now Ashley's being trained. Gurkha's getting some nice hits in there. Nuschel losing a couple of units here in retreating during the retreat process. Gets that one Yumi that was running for his life. Foreign logging coming out from Prince, so I don't know, this is interesting. It's like strangely, I don't know, working kind of better than I feel like it should. The ecos are actually dead even right now. And yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know if Prince is going to continue the aggression. It feels like it's going to be difficult to continue it. See if he can maybe get a villager. He gets the elephants back, which is nice. He's gonna move in, but I don't think he kills the monk. I guess nice little pickup there. And elephants immediately going on to Yumi's, which is not nice. Gurkha's getting some nice hits on the Ashes. Looking like a pretty even trade back and forth, but I think Prince ultimately gonna have to retreat here, as Yumi's are not getting more hits in, but more Gurkhas do join the fight. 4 villagers shipped for Nuschel. And actually not enough Gurkha to force the Yumis to retreat and idle some villagers from Prince, but Prince now just loading villagers up on this cherry orchard. Oh, that's a lot there. Oh, and the bear, grizzly bear getting some action in. Some sepoy being trained here. It'd be nice if you could have like 5 sepoys sieging the shrines while this is going on, but I don't know if you could really afford, having 5 units not in the action. Prince continuing to put the aggression on as we see a stable being built actually. Let's see if Prince can see this. There's the one sepoy. I think he was barely out of line of sight there. I don't think Prince is aware of that stable yet. Nuschel trying to get villagers on the gold here. Nuschel's actually just aging up behind this. So yeah, Japs are they're just so good at holding rushes, honestly. And yeah, during all this, Japan's just gonna age actually while having the better eco. So we got a little bit of a scary. This is a good timing push. I mean, this is the best I guess that Prince could hope for, pushing right as Nuschel starts to age, but. I mean, with that being said, you got half of your army just not in the fight. Now villagers are just going to tank and fight. And, yeah, I don't see this working for Prince. Like, half the units are just not in the fight because they're forced to go around the walls. And even if a couple of those die, it won't really matter. But I guess this is the best Prince could hope for. We'll have to see if he can just do enough damage, maybe pick off enough villagers where it will be relevant. As there's still a good amount of muskets and sepoy alive, the redcoats, and some reinforcing units are continuing to trickle in, but they're forced to take this really long path to get here, unfortunately. But only a couple of Yumi left alive here. Another villager does go down as Prince is now up 2 villagers. But Nuschel's about to age up. Batch of 5 Ashes is trained, and then with the Yumi from the age up, I think that's probably going to push Prince back. But Prince may be getting in a little bit more damage before those Yumi do arrive. As should be able to pick off at least another villager or 2 before the Yumis do not pop though. And see if he can maybe target down a villager. He's targeting the Yumis here. And villagers just going in the corner here, hiding. And Prince is up. Ooh, and Sour is actually coming. So, I mean, this aggression is kind of working for Prince here. And it doesn't look like Nuschel has a shipment either. He is almost at 1 shipment, but these 4 Sours are actually going to do quite a bit of work here, I think. We'll maybe see Nuschel pull villagers. Yep, there he goes. Fills the body block. Very smart. But Explorer going down, and he's got a lot of low HP villagers, I'm sure, too, I would assume. Let's take a look. And yeah, this is like surprisingly doing a lot of damage, but there's the muskets coming. As Knuschel actually did have like 2 shipments stacked, so he's got another shipment he could send right now. So with all that being said, yeah, I guess, you know, Prince did a good amount of damage. He's up 5 villagers, but Knuschel's an age ahead. He's got upgraded ashes, and he's got another shipment on the way. It's still looking pretty good for Knuschel, to be honest. He's only down 4 villagers and age ahead, and potentially have ashy raids and close that vill gap. And Prince, not many eco upgrades either. And here we go. The Ashy Raids move out, but this could be a good catch for Prince if he sees them. He does see them, so just kill him. Oh, but then look at this. Yeah, this is like, yeah, Ashy Raids obviously are just kind of insane. Nice little catch for Prince if he, you know, picks off these ashes. Definitely nice. And I'm not sure if he lost any villagers, or he lost 2 villagers so far. Forced to idle these villagers, obviously, as they're retreating. And just going to lose a lot more units here. A lot more vills. It's just one thing that just makes Chapter so strong. Just having these ashes that are just so fast. Can zoom around the map. Meanwhile, like, their villagers can't really get raided. Can make it difficult for Prince to really be gathering resources. As now, just like that, Knuschel's back ahead in the eco game. And Prince trying to get on this food, but... we'll see if Prince can maybe trap these ashes, get a nice pickup, as some Gurkhas are going to get some hits. Definitely will be nice if you can kind of clean up like 8 or so ashes, but I mean, just bleeding out villagers, it's kind of fine, even if the like ashes die. I mean, they already got their value, so walking quite a bit here. Now going to hand attack. We're even seeing Knuschel dropping a TC behind this and more shrines. So Knuschel up 3 villagers and just an age ahead. Castle being built. And just more ashes being trained and killing a lot of villagers. These ashes will get caught. Potentially can't get all cleaned up. But, you know, just getting those vill kills here and there, and I mean, they're even like killing the sours pretty cost efficiently, so it's just worth it to do these raids with Jap, even if you like lose the ashes. I mean, you're still killing like a few units, and you killed like 4 villagers. I mean, you killed like 6 sours, so they maybe even traded evenly with the units, even though they got caught. So Knuschel up 8 villagers. Behind a significant amount of military, but I mean, I don't know how Prince can really punish it. Gonna maybe siege the Tushugan Shrine, as the military gap is growing quite. Wow, actually 3 TCs. Jesus. So Knuschel going 3 TCs. That's why he's so far behind in the military. And he's going to have to close the gap at some point. He's floating so much wood, though. I guess he'll have to go on, build some mills. And, okay, there's the 2 cherry orchards there, so he's waiting for those to arrive. That's why his macro got out of whack a bit. And he looks like Prince is going to be able to kill the Tushugan Shrine, which is quite nice. Knuschel up 10 villagers. And even up the military gap. And he's just going to have these incredibly strong... Japan units, you know, up H3 upgraded units, and even though he's behind in the military pop, I don't know, I think Prince is still going to kind of struggle. While multiple castles being built, prevent raids, it's kind of, I don't know, expensive. Redcoat's sieging down these shrines so that the Prince can kind of get on these hunts. Down 10 villagers, gotta do something with the army. Obviously, it can be hard to know who's ahead in the eco game, but there goes, starts sieging some more shrines. Prince now working on some more market upgrades. And we'll have to see if Knuschel's going to be pushing out soon or not, building a castle of his own. And perhaps some flaming arrows. And just continuing to mass these strong Japan units, upgrading the Ashies. Got the Nagys upgraded. Continuing the Ashi raids. Shrines are going down. Definitely nice to clean up those shrines. Be nice to. Still, the army's a little bit inactive. You don't need to push or really continue to clean up the shrines. It's nice. 5 Seaboy doing some work here. But Prince now going to try to push on the front line here. Prince, you know, closing the equal gap a little bit. He's down 12 villagers. But Knuschel closing the military gap. But actually, with that said, some big batches coming out for Prince here. Training some Zams. These are some pretty upgraded cavalry. Look at those walls that go down. But big Ashi raids. Some muskets who were here. And big India force moving on in here. And it's go time for Prince. 2 flaming arrows arrive. Perfect pop from Knuschel. That could have been horrible depending on where the flaming arrows popped, but they popped in the perfect location. Prince doing a good job targeting them down, however. Let's see, Minutemen are called, going in cover mode, but the flaming arrows are dealt with quite quickly. And this is a large India army here. Is Knuschel getting caught out a little bit? There's a lot of Nagys here, but good amount of Zams here, pulling back the Ashies, and a lot of Yumis. Wow, they were kind of hiding there. And I don't know, just with TC fire, some of those tanking, and these Jap units, it may be enough to hold, but a lot of reinforcing Sours actually coming in, as there's not much anti-cav at all actually, and more Yumis even popping. As Knuschel might have tried to boom too much with throwing 2 additional town centers down. Seemed excessively greedy. And did Prince do it? Has Prince done the unthinkable? Still a pretty large force here for Prince, but Knuschel is still up about 12 villagers and clubs coming out. Gonna be able to deal with these Sours and more Yumis popping. This was a really nice push from Prince, but it looks like Knuschel's got just enough to hold and just gonna have this superior eco behind this. Wow, I think Knuschel kind of just barely hanging on, holding this. Just enough to hold, and the walls being rebuilt, and now all of a sudden Knuschel's just up in the eco game here. The shrines were dealt with quite nicely. There's a couple over here that he maybe missed, but now Knuschel up in eco and up in military after all that. Oh, and then look at this, Sours or Gurkha's just being donated, unfortunately. Tiger Claw's moving on in though. Some Seapoy. Gonna push Knuschel back here. Oh, didn't get fully behind the walls there. Knuschel sneaking a shrine right underneath Prince's nose. And the Ashi raids continue, as there was a momentary break with the Ashi raids. Villagers pulling out the guns, never a good sign. Prince being pulled away. Being pulled back and forth. And here are the Ashi raids. Gonna find the Tiger Claws and the villagers. But Prince really putting together a good big force here. Tiger Claws being on top of the Ashies. As Knuschel retreating with his full army here behind the walls. And looks like the Ashes are going to come out on top here in a pretty even trade. Gonna force Prince to pull his villagers. And just looking at the eco now, 82 to 54. So Prince, putting up a pretty good job here. But at the end of the day, it's Yumi's behind walls. And Knuschel just going industrial behind this. So the Jap turtle wins another day. Lives to win another day. And some more shrines are going to be killed, burned down. But we have a big wonder being built. And we have Yumis and walls. And extremely strong Nagis. And then extremely strong Ashes. And don't forget about the free clubs. And now making the switch to the old rice paddies. Getting out on the map to gather some gold. And Knuschel hitting that industrial age while we got Prince hanging out on age 2. And Knuschel now moving out. Aging up, gets that daimyo. Gonna boost the army. And Prince actually aging himself, but just getting up to H3. Actually floating. Oh wow, he's got a lot of villagers on wood. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have to get upgrades. He's aging up with the Siege Fire Wonder. Does have a shipment available, but we got 4 flaming arrows coming out from Knuschel. Perhaps can ship my house and try to make something happen, but you're gonna have to upgrade all your units and I don't know, hope for something crazy. Down 27 in the eco game. That's a lot. And we've honored Yumi being upgraded. Well, is Prince going immediately to H4? The classic go H3 and then immediately go H4. That's something. Still down 28 villagers though, and forced to idle a lot of villagers here with all the walking time. And unfortunately, Japs don't really have to deal with much walking time as they can build rice paddies and their shrines, gather them resources. Just walking here for going for some gold, but don't have to walk the hunts obviously. And the honored flaming arrows. Honored flaming arrows before honored ashes or eggs. Interesting. And there's the industrial age for Prince. Forced to call the ceasefire. Unfortunately, the kind of defensive ceasefire to save his giant villagers migrating. But yeah, I mean, when Jap gets to this point, I don't know how you kill this army. Prince not pushing in with his army, but this should be a pretty hilarious fight. Prince getting pushed back. And there's a big Urumi shipment, but couldn't time the ceasefire to get a real surround, unfortunately. He did train the Matsubara Urumi. That's quite nice. And Prince getting in there, but just seeing this Japan army knows that he's lost. Taps out, calls the GG. And Knuschel taking the series 3-1. So well played from both players here, but we are going to see Knuschel advance. That one layer of wall, that indeed. But, I mean, that's classic Jap. You basically got to expect, a second layer of walls. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, of course, they're always going to get, like, the second layer of walls down before this initial layer goes down. So, it's always just tough to rush Japan, because, I mean, just walls and Yumis.
Yes.
Well, let's take a look at some of the post-game stats here. It's well played by both these players throughout the series. All res gathered. Knuschel just out gathering in the end. Prince with more military, played the entire game, but just not being able to win it. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this series. Knuschel going to be moving on to the semifinals, and that's going to be it for Prince's tournament life. But Prince, he made it to the round of 8, so he actually does get a prize. His top 8 players do get a prize in this tournament, so I believe his 5th place to 8th place gets $20. So Prince taking home $20, not too shabby. Put up a good show, put good tournament performance, so I think you should be quite happy about that. And we'll be seeing Knuschel in the semifinals. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next one.